So, I just finished watching the new Netflix Masters of the Universe Revelation series. I actually wanted to do this video after watching the first episode, but I decided to finish the rest of part 1 just so I could get the whole picture. By the way, this video is going to contain spoilers, so be warned. Now, from what I understand, the He-Man fans hate this new series, but as a Transformers fan, I love it. I am not a He-Man fan. I've literally watched one episode of the original series in my entire life. I've probably seen more of He-Man and Skeletor in memes and crazy commercials than I have of the original cartoon. So I know little to nothing about Masters of the Universe, other than what I've picked up by osmosis. But I loved this miniseries. There were so many awesome and emotional and thrilling and surprising moments. It was amazing. He-Man and Skeletor die in the first episode. Now, as a He-Man fan, I can understand why you might be upset by this. But as a Transformers fan, this is something that we've been yearning for years. Personally speaking, I am so sick and tired of Optimus Prime and Megatron. And I know many other fans are too. They have become so boring and stiff. We want a series without Optimus Prime and Megatron. We kind of had that with Cyberverse, but let's face it, we're all sick of Bumblebee too. Now, Cyberverse definitely seemed to try and do its best with what it had. I love that characters like Windblade, Slipstream, Cheetor, Hot Rod, Clobber, Whirl all got time to shine. But I do feel that the show was hindered before it even got started, solely by the fact that they decided to make the show in 10-minute episodes, and to go with non-union actors instead of some veteran voice actors. The whole thing reeks of Hasbro cheaping out. Which leads into the focus of this episode, the For Cybertron Trilogy, the final chapter of which, Kingdom, will be premiering on Netflix this week. Like Cyberverse, the For Cybertron series uses non-union talent, some of which were actually in Cyberverse 2, others returning from the poorly received Prime Wars trilogy, produced by the now defunct Machinima, which were absorbed by another YouTube MCN, the same one which coincidentally worked on For Cybertron, Rooster Teeth. Now, I'm not going to be talking much about Rooster Teeth. I used to be a big fan, but after seeing the countless reports in recent years of how they treat their fans, staff, and co-workers, I think we can call it like it is. They're just a YouTube channel that got lucky, and exploited some extremely talented people that they managed to get to work for them. It should be obvious by now that they should have never been given the responsibility of running a Transformers show. If Machinima couldn't pull a decent performance out of the likes of Mark Hamill and Ron Perlman, what hope could Rooster Teeth have with a cast of no-name actors? But Rooster Teeth isn't solely to blame. Hasbro signed off on everything. Hasbro set the budget, and Hasbro hired these fools. Meanwhile, with this new Masters of the Universe show, Mattel, Hasbro's biggest rival, they at least had the respect to bring back Alan Oppenheimer, the original voice of Skeletor. Sure, he may not be playing Skeletor in this series, and they killed off his character the first episode after 10 seconds of screen time, but at least he was there. This new Masters of the Universe has legendary talent like the aforementioned Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Liam Cunningham, Lena Headey, and many more. Who did Hasbro get? Nobody. The only Transformers veterans are those who worked on previous non-union Transformers shows. In fact, I think this He-Man show's voice cast might actually have more Transformers veterans than For Cybertron does, even if you do count the non-union ones. Then there's the animation. Masters of the Universe is done beautifully in 2D, while For Cybertron is 3D, done by Polygon Pictures, the same studio who did Transformers Prime. See my For Cybertron reviews for my full thoughts on the animation in this trilogy. But the short of it is that Polygon does good work. They did a better job on Prime, but the For Cybertron trilogy felt stiff and lifeless. The show's character models being directly based on the figure's CAD models was an interesting gimmick to try and sell the toys. But when there's no energy to them, and you don't even use the same articulation as the actual toys, It's like, why bother? The story of Masters of the Universe Revelation moves at a breakneck pace. Like I mentioned, I like that they got rid of the big bad and big good in the first episode. It gives the other characters a chance to take the spotlight. Something that Transformers fans have been begging Hasbro for, but only really got in the comics. And besides, it's not like He-Man and Skeletor aren't in the other episodes. They appear in flashbacks, much like the ones in Cyberverse. But unlike the ones in Cyberverse, they don't take up the whole episode, just enough to give the characters some flavor. Whereas the War for Cybertron Trilogy labors on and on, so slow and full of pointless subplots that really seem to do nothing but pad out the show. Revelation uses every second of screen time to its fullest. I felt more watching the first episode of Masters of the Universe than I did watching all of the War for Cybertron trilogy so far. And I'm guessing Kingdom won't be any different. Which is clearly evident by the brief clip of Beast Megatron's voice that leaked online recently.
It is you, isn't it? Yes, Lord Megatron, at last. Megatron, greatest leader of the Decepticons, my namesake.
What is that? Are they even trying? I have heard fans at TFCon script reading auditions do better David Kaye impressions than whoever this is. And I've been to a lot of TFCons. Hasbro should be pushing a big Beast Wars revival, especially with their next movie, Rise of the Beasts, on the horizon. Yet, this is what they give us? This is what someone at Hasbro gave the okay to? This weak, flaccid attempt at mediocrity? It's like Hasbro doesn't even care about their own brand. How is it that I care more about Orko and Cringer than I do about Optimus Prime and Megatron? How can Hasbro fail this badly? When someone like me, who's been a longtime Transformers fan for decades, would now rather go out and pick up a Teela or Evelyn figure than yet another Optimus Prime or Bumblebee. That's pretty bad. How horrible of a job must you be doing that your core audience could so easily be seduced by another brand from another company in a mere 5 episodes? Although, again, apparently the He-Man fans aren't happy with Revelation. Who knows? Maybe they think War for Cybertron is awesome. I find it boring, predictable, and agony to sit through. So if you like this video, just wait until Kingdom comes out. But yeah, from my perspective, this show feels like Mattel slapping Hasbro in the face with Ken's flat crotch. To me, Masters of the Universe Revelation is what War for Cybertron should have been. This is how you do your new Netflix show based on an 80s toy line. Learn from Mattel, Hasbro. And please, whatever comes after Kingdom, give yourselves the budget you need to do Transformers justice. Hire someone who actually knows what they're doing and gives a slag. And enough with the whole dark and mature thing where Transformers die for no reason. It's not edgy and adult, it's just stupid. This is a franchise about giant alien robots that can disguise themselves as literally anything. And you choose to just have the same old truck and tank blow stuff up all the time? Try something new. Have some fun with it. And try to remember what made the previous series great. There is magic there. You just have to tap into it. Well, what about you? What do you think about these 2 Netflix exclusive series? Is Mattel the masters of storytelling? Does Hasbro need to transform their ways? Also, would you like me to do a video just giving my thoughts on the new He-Man show? There's a lot more I have to say about this show, but I wanted to keep the focus on comparing these 2 cartoons. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here for more Transformers and non-Transformers reviews in the future. Maybe more of the latter if the next Transformers series is more like War for Cybertron.